Okay, testing. Yep, I think that's working. All right. Okay, and hopefully that is going out. It does look like the audio is working. So test, test, test. Let's do one great big.
Objection.
So hopefully that's gone through. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome y'all to the afternoon session of the Zachariah Anderson trial. Fingers crossed, we're not going to see any sort of mistrial today. The stream is due to start in a minute 30, but we all know what law and crime are like with keeping up with timing. Thank you for everyone that has been sitting waiting very patiently. I hugely appreciate that. Yeah, my powered USB hub blew up. So, as it turns out, I've had to very quickly connect two or three different things. But we got there. So, that's the main thing. And now I'm going to crack an energy drink because it is just 4:45 in the morning. How's everybody doing? Let's have a look. Also, very quickly, I want to thank each and every one of my current subscribers. Very much appreciate all of you because, yeah, I got to 9K last night. Fingers crossed, if this case proceeds, we may actually get to 10,000. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Stingy's in the house. Hello. You like pina coladas getting caught in the rain? I don't. I don't quite like pina coladas. Getting caught in the rain on a hot day. I don't mind that. Zenith's here. Hello. Try Gremlin. The trial doesn't make sense to me. Okay. I think he won't call a mistrial. I think he is letting them say what they want to say, so there's no issues in appeal. That's always a distinct possibility. Oh, it's so much better once you've. Um, I'm leaning towards Schroeder's not going to be granting any sort of mistrial in this. It was the wording and the inflection that he used. I mean, I don't know. I've only watched the man on certain things, but okay. So now we're just waiting for Law and Crime to boot up. Um, the way that he was phrasing it, very specifically, the way that he was tiptoeing around certain things when he was talking to the defense yesterday. The whole let's just say I'm ordering you to do this as if this had happened or suggesting that you do this as if this had happened, that to me tells me that he's skirting around various things and he's looking for every opportunity not to do a mistrial. So fingers crossed the defense counsel have done their jobs and we will get to see some more trial coverage. Um, Read too much. There is no chance this isn't a Gone Girl type of disappearance and he's deceased. Well, maybe. Um, Oh, thank you, Rabbit, for putting the links. Oh, hang on. I got to do that in YouTube, not in StreamYard, because otherwise that would put Rabbit into timeout. Absolute last thing I want to do. All right, so I'll have to remember to do that. I'll just star that and come back to it. And coming in hot with the perfect theme song for the Aussie trial stream. Yeah, well. Update: the 17-year-old that beat the teacher is being charged as an adult, as well he should. Possibly up to 30 years, $1 million on bail, and arrested 3 times in 2019 for assault. No shit. Okay, that's interesting. Um, Given that, for anyone that didn't see it, this was the 17-year-old colored student that beat the hell out of a white female teacher who was like a foot shorter than him because she took his switch off of him because he was playing it in class. They walked out into the hallway, he crash tackled her and then beat her face until a Marine and some other bystanders pulled him off of her. He then got up, tried to have another go, and eventually they had to drag him away. Don't know if anyone's seen that footage, but it was not great. So, did court ever return after lunch yesterday? I'm searching. No, they didn't because they would have been going to do their motions. Where I see it, the DA knows they effed up bad, another mistrial, and they drop all charges, and their complete incompetence isn't smeared all over the world. Look, entirely possible, Zenith. It does seem like there's prosecutorial misconduct there. It'll be very interesting to actually see exactly where they go. Uh, Hello, Linda. How you doing? Ready to watch the DA have a fit for a couple hours? Excom is in the house. Hello. Always love seeing my usuals. Hello, Sarah. Try Gremlin. Hello. Dog Mama. Yay. Good to see you too. Um, Donna T. Paula Williams. Hello. Bite me, Jeff. For someone that's supposed to be asleep and not streaming the murder trial, I'm pretty sure I know where most of my viewership is going to be this morning. Thank you for that. um, Eva Torres, hello. All right, I'm just going to bring up the stream so you can see that I'm just not being a dick at the moment. Where are we? What's that? Alright. I'm just annoyed that you can't full screen while you're waiting. I love how they've got 303 waiting for them, and there's 39 likes. I think that's hilarious. Which, speaking of people, please feel free to hit the like button, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Um, I'll stop that now. Use duct tape or electric. Linda, it was a joke. um, Hello, Aussie from Damaged Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. Oh, hello, Andrew Brunton. Thank you for being here. You're not supposed to plug that particular device into the hub. How many times do I have to tell you that? Well, it's a USB powered flashlight, Stingy. What do you want from me? I'm joking. I'm joking. They better deny the prosecution's motion, or else I'm making the judge my new best friend. Ooh, spicy Ava. Go for it. Get it, girl. Yes. Remember to just receive gifts. Hit the cash icon, then memberships, options, toggle gift receiving, or click the link to turn the button on. This is true, people, because we have some very generous members, and they do give out memberships very frequently. In fact, I'm fairly confident that I saw Xcoma give out a membership earlier, although it seems to have not shown up because I didn't have the chat open soon enough. So, if anyone else has, what do you call it? If anybody else has received or gifted memberships, please let me know so that I can properly acknowledge it. Sorry, my brain is still kicking into gear. Just said that. The graphics and how your visual setup is exemplary. Ava, just you wait. I haven't been able to set up the new camera yet. This is just with a software upgrade. I still have this bad boy to set up. Oh, hang on. I still have this bad boy to set up. It's a mirrorless SLR so that I can actually set it up and have a proper visual setup for it. I had to specifically, I had to special order the battery and the plug because the charge, although I can connect it to the computer, I can use it for like an hour before the battery discharges. We have bought- we have TV this morning. Oh, apparently it's going out live on national TV as well. I made it, Ava. Well, I mean, using Canva and other software. Okay, so let's see where we're going to go with this, huh? Oh, thank you very much, Raven. I appreciate that. Wood chipper plus boat plus Lake Michigan equals nobody. This is true. This is very true. Okay, to be fair, if it was no, there was not going to be any trial because he's old and cranky. That's not slander. That's using his abilities to his advantage. Yeah, there you go. You have a misogynistic landlord. Why? What's happened there? Also, how's the audio, guys? I've got the audio up at the max. I mean, I know it's just very faint, like background noise at the moment, but can you hear that, or do you want me to boost it? I'm Canadian. So it's Great Lake. Know the least about it because I didn't get any of it.
Actually, I need it
Okay.
now.
Um, yeah, doing okay, AP. Thank you for asking. Can't really complain. It's 6:10 in the morning on Thursday, which reminds me, I need to put my out of office on because I am at a conference today after this. Um, so that should be interesting. Sure it's not on screen. Nope. But otherwise, I hope everyone else is doing well. File, yeah, automatic report. There we
We're back, and the appearances are as before.
All right, here we go, people. I'm gonna mute because otherwise my keyboard's gonna
We're
clack and annoy
kind enough
people.
to take the time to sit down and confer with one another. And there was also a submission by the defense, which I did review. And why don't you take it from there, Mr. Gridley?
So counsel will correct me if I make any representations she did not feel are completely accurate, but I believe that, apologize. I believe that based on the filing submitted by the defense, that the state and the defense have an understanding that the defense will not make any arguments that rise to the level of a Denny argument and not present any evidence that will rise to the level of a Denny argument. And they recognize that the argument that the state believed was a Denny argument was a sort of a connect the dots argument of some individual pieces of evidence. And they've indicated they will not make that sort of connect the dot argument that would rise to the level of Denny. And their submission reflects that. They have indicated to the court they have no additional Denny hearings that they are seeking from the court, even though the court gave them guidance if there was Denny-like evidence that they should put it in their submission. In light of that and understanding that I believe that to be an accurate interpretation of what they wish their filing to represent to the court, the parties were able to come up with a joint proposed cautionary instruction so that we did not have to have a mistrial in light of that pleading. That joint proposed cautionary instruction has been submitted to the court. All parties have copies. Does the court need me to read it, or does it stand in this record because it is a filed document?
I'll leave it to your choice or that of the other party. It doesn't need to be, but you're welcome to do so.
Well, I have no reason to. Do you, counsel? Okay, so we've come up with a joint proposed cautionary instruction. We're asking the court that be read
Thank
at
you,
the
Rabbit, for the 10
conclusion
memberships.
of the defense's opening statement. That was the express preference by the defense counsel, which the state is fine with, so that it is in close proximity to the end of the defense opening statement. The court certainly will use its own discretion about whether it should be read at any other time, but that is the time that we are asking the court specifically to read it. The state is also requesting to the court that in light of the sort of connect the dots argument made by the defense, that the state be able to add to its witness list and to call in its case in chief a witness named Rebecca Jekyll. That's Jaeckel. We intend to present some evidence to refute the implications that were raised in the defense opening argument. And I don't believe the defense has any issue with that. I believe that's the entirety of our discussions. Is that, counsel, does that? Yeah. So I believe that is the entirety of our joint discussions.
All right. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like they came to some sort of like argued agreement, thankfully. Morning, Aussie. Hope you're doing well. First day at the job was a shit show of incompetency, bureaucracy. Have good hopes once I punch through that I'll have a more interesting job. Congratulations, Sovereign Postman, and I'm very happy that you got it. Yeah, sorry, Jeff. I'm a little bit behind in the chat. And to be perfectly honest, like I said, I thought you were still streaming. So I've sent you the link.
All right, so is that a
If you
fair
prefer to
statement
be
of
here rather than
the,
getting sleep.
situation?
Yes, with some caveat, but it is a fair statement. The caveat is that my conversations with
Of
the
course I
district
wasn't still streaming. I was just waiting for you.
how I could perceive how he
Sorry.
interpreted
That's what we're here
the
for.
statements made in my
There's no
opening
mistrial.
statement.
I'm
I
happy.
had told him that I could see how he would interpret it that way and how someone could interpret it that way, but that I'd hope he could see that we could also interpret it, the defense could interpret it in the way that we so proposed on Tuesday and also in our pleading to the court. And so there was kind of that mutual understanding that it could be seen both ways is kind of my
Cheers.
my understanding of that conversation. And so that was why we found it amenable to prepare this proposed cautionary instruction, and that would really cure any concerns that the state would have as it related to the statements that
I'm
were
curious as
made
to what the
during
instructions are
opening.
going to be. I mean, it doesn't need to
As
be anything
far
more than
as
nothing these
when
guys
we
are saying is
requesting it to be
evidence or
read,
argument.
the state's assertion was correct that we're asking that it be read at the conclusion of the defense's opening statement. And then with Miss Rebecca Jekyll being added to the state's witness list, naturally no objection. She was on ours. I did confirm with the state that they will write up a summary of what was discussed with her about this text message that will be prepared and provided to the defense prior to her testifying. So we will have that information and can act accordingly when we receive it. So that's the only supplement that I have, Judge. But I think that what the state and myself have come to an agreement on is appropriate, and that the court should accept it and should allow this trial to continue.
So there was withdrawal of the motion of the
Yeah.
state for mistrial?
Frankly, what we've tried to figure out is a way to move on at this point. So yeah, I'm withdrawing the motion.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
in
you
light of
did
the
that.
stipulations and
Yeah.
the filing, so that we can keep going.
What did I do in my life? Merit such congenial attorneys. No, this is, well, I'll leave it at that. No, this is not something which would reach an element of the offense. Well, that's the wrong reach. This doesn't actually constitute an element of the offense charge. So I don't think we need to obtain the consent of the defendant, but I assume he's familiar with the agreement and what it means. And if you want to discuss it a little bit more with your attorneys, you're welcome to do so.
If we could just have a brief moment. Naturally, I was not able to confer with my client. Should we go in the back?
Yep.
Thank you.
We're going to trial.
She wants it in the back. And yes, we are definitely going to trial. Thank God for that. Well, there you have it, folks. What do we think? Is there a chance? Was there a chance this was all just a power move by the prosecution?
I'm still firmly convinced it was just retribution and seeking revenge for the mistrial that he got right after closings last year. And wouldn't be surprised if the judge said, knock this shit off.
Hmm.
That's
Well, I mean, we didn't really see what
weird
happened off
thing.
camera yesterday afternoon, so
Yeah.
it's yeah, no.
Is this art? What is this? It's
The
disturbing.
phrasing was intentional. I'm not Obama. You know that I get a little bit degenerate and funny. Judge is clinging to like 5 or 6 years. I said, Andrew, be nice.
It's like the little
Okay.
matchstick girl, just the last one falls and he dies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we can officially end that poll. So we had 54% said, nope, Schroeder is old and cranky. Hell no, Aussie may just leave YouTube was 29%. And 16% said yes, Schroeder was because Schroeder is old and for those that were out of the loop, what caused the mistrial last time? There was some information that was not provided by the prosecution to the defense, and as a result, the prosecution got a big heaping of egg on his face when the defense applied for a mistrial and the court granted it. So
All the egg whites right there.
yeah, So, but yes, where are we?
And of
Yeah,
course,
so
Natalie
this-
Wisco called it. She said that the judge will find a way. Schroeder will find a way to make sure this goes forward because he doesn't like to waste jurors' time. She
Well, I'm
called
not going to lie. It was the way that he was talking to the defense counsel yesterday that made me think that he was leaning towards not granting a mistrial anyway. Because the whole, let's just say you did this, but we're moving the time period for when it was applicable to this sort of thing. So he was effectively moving the formalities of it. No, Eliza, that is not the state seal.
Natalie, you're here in chat. What is that? What are we looking at? And why are we looking at it?
Oh, there you are. Hey, Natalie. I'm assuming it's a piece of art that's on the wall.
It can't be art. It just can't be.
I have seen a can of soup stuck on a plinth and lit up and called art. So trust me, anything can be art these days. Super chat from Flux there. Yay, we'll all be stuck in the sheet show now. I'm stoked.
2 weeks,
I'm stoked
baby.
too, Flux. Oh yeah. And the best part is, there's a good chance we're going to outlast murder, which I don't think anyone expected.
Yeah.
Um.
The closing arguments are pretty bad in that.
Oh really? I'll have to
Yeah,
go back and
the
rewatch.
prosecution's closing arguments are really, really bad.
Eh.
You have to go back and see the PowerPoint they did. It was just atrocious.
Oh, they did a PowerPoint. Lovely. And for Flux's other $5 super chat, thank you very much for that. 9K, don't forget us when you're big and famous. That ain't going to happen, Flux. But
Like
thanks,
Natalie,
Flux, we appreciate
that's a good question. It might be art that was previously there and was covered by paint that they wanted to restore.
All right, where are we? Wisconsin State Seal is just some random piece of leather or something. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Of course. So, oh, did you see my tweet from yesterday when they got right to the very end of the trial stream? I thought that was hilarious. Law and Crime are using Court TV's feed. It got right to the end, and it had the Law and
Yeah.
Crime logo across it, but it was the Court TV logo at the back.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Sounds like a band-aid from a giant. Yeah, maybe. Where are we? Once had to study Dadaism art in college. Someone literally turned a urinal into on its side on a pedestal and called it art. Ooh.
But see, that's weird. Like it's Court TV's feed, but Court TV isn't even streaming it.
No, I think that if you have a Court TV membership, you can watch it through their website. So that's why I find it a little bit interesting, because it means that Law and Crime is using it directly through their website, which I'm sure has a whole other raft of terms of services to be applied to it. Jury isn't back until tomorrow, so we waited all day for 5 seconds of this. God, I hope not. I really, really hope not.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't tell the
Okay,
jury
sounds like there's
yesterday
some audio, so we might be coming back, which is
that I
good.
don't let the lawyers participate.
Mr. Krizark is not aware of that, evidently.
I usually try to shut them down, you know, but, and I will tell you that a former member of your office, before the time that you were the high muckety muck,
Ancient times.
actually ended it, what's that?
The high muckety
Ancient
mucks.
Ancient times.
Yeah.
Actually walked out
Ancient
with
times.
a negative score for the year. He's a very bright individual.
It doesn't sound like it.
Well read, but he's impulsive and he guesses too quickly. All right, I guess we got to go to work.
I have a couple of theories, but
So you've had a chance to talk with your client?
Thank you. Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you, Ava.
Do you have any questions about this at all, Mr. Anderson?
No, I'm good, Judge.
Okay, any problems? Okay. All right.
back at 9.
I will accept and approve the stipulation, and it will be given as you request. If I remember to do it, at the close of your remarks, and if I do forget.
Okay,
We'll
looks like I'm
remind
going to have to
you.
prep law news and laughter.
And other than that, I think back at 9 o'clock. And anything else?
No.
Nothing.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy this magnificent day. First day of
Riveting.
meteorological spring.
Fantastic. I'm going to get this done really quickly. So by all means, Jeff, regale us. What happened with the murder closing statements? Nothing.
Dude, it was bad. You just have to watch the PowerPoint presentation.
All right.
You just have to. It's probably funnier if you snipe Nick's stream where we were all yucking it up, but it was disastrous on its own.
Let's see, because he's still alive. Okay, so how far back is the PowerPoint?
Oh, it's
That
just
looks like a PowerPoint there. Is it
Yeah,
like
it's the-
green and white?
it's go like right to the beginning of the PowerPoint presentation. Well, that's good. At least we have a trial to go to tomorrow.
This is true.
Woohoo!
There goes the stomach. It was the fact that they used PowerPoint. Yeah, I can't say I'm shocked.
That's just in outside of a suburb, in a rural county. Oh
What
my
about
God.
in the Bible where the dog?
Sorry, Bronco.
Eatsy cheeking. You know what sucks the most for Paul?
Just try and quickly whip
One of the
through.
fundamental
was
roles for
worse.
the
I'm just
office.
saying.
Second.
Have you considered though, Joe, that his dad was in debt, which was way worse than that,
Oh, that's
obviously,
true.
which is why
Looks
the
like it's
murder
coming.
was.
It was a mercy kill. It was a mercy kill.
You determine.
Oh.
You determine
Whoa.
which witnesses you want to rely on or not rely on. You can rely on a part of a witness's testimony, all the witnesses' testimony.
A little
One of
bit
the
further on
opinion
after the
is
white
one.
cards go away.
It's up to each one of you
This is
individually.
this is like a credibility, reasonable doubt, dumb stuff like that.
Stand. The witness was.
I mean, it's literally one of the
all
worst
against one.
closings, and they're not even done. They just
Someone's
took a
caught.
break. But
Oh,
this
really?
PowerPoint
That
was
testimony.
atrocious.
Clearly, someone should
So you
take
gotta
a
prove the guilt.
I have confidence in
beyond
juries.
reasonable doubt.
clearly someone should take a class in multimedia, I suppose.
Oh, this is amazing compared to what's coming up later.
Oh,
It's because you don't have the
My
Mona Lisa.
response to that is, I'm still
not gonna step it.
forethought. The crime of murder is really, as far as the elements go, fairly simple.
Have you also noticed that murder rhymes
The-
kinda with
operative
Murdoch?
terms here, the most
Kinda.
Okay.
Right there.
to talk
yeah.
about the family legacy. You heard
Yeah,
how
his-
important
his-
that was to him and how
his
This
important that
trial
was
is
to
now a
this family.
Warhammer novel.
and how-
Thank you.
That is the worst
Danger
slide I've ever
because
seen in my
of the
entire
budget.
life. That is horrific.
Criminal charges as well as
Warhammer, the Gathering Storm.
And it was
I have that
threatening
book.
also to expose him for who he really was,
As
which
a
would
successful
totally
lawyer.
destroy his part of that legacy.
When I just put it in 8-point type.
Lose his career, lose his bar license, face consequences like he's never seen.
Yeah, why was the font so small? Like, you have a ton
He's
of
also-
white space down there.
I'm not losing my bar license.
And a part-time prosecutor. And as we go through and talk about the circumstances of this case and talk about
Terrific.
the crime scene and the timeline and all the rest of it, think of it with that in mind.
I hope it fills the bottom
This
with
is
just
an
"He
individual
killed
who is
them."
trained
Giant letters.
to understand how to put
It
together.
just flashes in for
Yes.
microseconds like a subliminal.
Complex cases.
Guilty, guilty, guilty.
He's been a prosecutor. He's done complex car wrecks. He understands the law.
Mm.
He's given closing arguments.
Don't put that
to
on
juries
lawyers'
before.
shoulders, you bastard.
So when you have
Do that to
a
us.
defendant like that, be thinking about whether or not this individual is constructing.
Creighton, you're a full-time prosecutor who
Defenses
doesn't
and
understand the law.
constructing
Why would we
alibis.
expect a part-time prosecutor to do it? That'd be my closing argument. If I
Talk
was
about his law
completely-
practice. You've heard how
That's
lucrative
a
it's
lie.
here.
It would not.
It is. I had to struggle with him to get him to admit that he was wealthy, making
So
more than
Did
$1
you-
million a year.
Why'd you have to
Um,
struggle to do that?
I'll let y'all decide whether or not that's wealthy, but he admitted ultimately that, that was not uncommon for him to make that much money on top of stealing and borrowing on top of that. The important thing though to remember again, and I want to highlight this, is that they get
Wait, uninterested in firm
they
management?
get
That's
their
a
money
feature, not a
in the
glitch.
and then it's up to them to make it last. And that's the big problem that he had. That's why I had to get the Ferris wheel. He can't, if he's out of money in May,
Are you
he's not
ready to
gonna,
fall
unless he
asleep
can
yet?
borrow it or steal it, he's out of luck.
This is so
Well,
boring.
he's pretty good at
The
stealing.
hounds were at the gate.
The hound's at a chicken.
All right, we talked about this. He's got, you heard, I think, Jeannie described him as having intentional chaos. We
And the
have the
colors
land
of the
deals.
slides
He's
keep
serving
varying.
this huge debt load. He constantly needs new money coming in.
No,
And
we
this
can
has
make
been
our
going on
slide
for
better.
more than a
We use a
decade, a
gradient.
constant hamster wheel.
Different bullet points.
We'll put a red tab in the corner just for people staring at it.
Of that would be extreme because it's been going on.
And I'll bet
for
there's
so
a
long.
copyright sign
Always
in there
having to
somewhere
stay
'cause they're
one
proud of
step
it.
ahead the game. Always having to beg, literally
No,
beg,
it's not go
borrow, or
disappearing.
steal
I'm prepping for my regular
for over
show.
a
so just
decade.
give me another 10, 15, and we'll
Successfully.
finish watching this
To
and then
have
we'll
the
hop
truth
over to an
in
actual
your
Law News and Laughter.
That's been going on all that time.
Oh, it was
New
great
cases
because
is
it's gathering
He's
storm.
straightened
That
it
one.
out.
This is
Look at
finance,
his
so
debts,
it's
but
green.
he's getting paid millions of dollars, but he's stealing.
Specifically,
On
also
top of
because
that,
we had a
it's
porn
not
of
enough to
stealing
keep that
identities.
hamster wheel going.
They should have at least gotten his face
Borrows
in
and
there.
steals.
They used to
That was the
stock
worst thing
photos.
I've ever seen.
You
Clip
got
art.
Pay Getty
checks.
images for that, you asshole.
You got the fake forge.
Clip art from
There's a
1969.
Somebody let
Yeah,
the old
fake
man into
business
the clip art
expenses.
file again.
Running the firm
photos
hard
have his face on the slide, like they're as important as the
in front of
words.
his family. And
I want to become a stock photo.
Come on, we
each
can
one
all
of
do it.
those depends on him being able to sit down.
You
and
know, they
look
pick
someone in the
firm
eye
because there's a firm handshake.
and convince them
Oh my God,
that
I
what
may
they're
have to
doing
start
is
dating.
right.
This
In
is
reality,
bad.
that wasn't
This is
happening.
If that
bad.
slide was made on 4chan,
All
they would have
those clients
photoshopped Murdoch's head onto
trusted
the
him
guy into
based
the
on
gerbil
those.
wheel.
And he sat there and went through that, and it may have been exhausting, and I apologize for that, but he couldn't tell you about one conversation that he had that stuck with him.
Okay.
That's how easily it came.
Go for it, Stingy. Might as well lose my
Can you
shit.
imagine last night him looking through the PowerPoint thinking
That's what we got from
Great,
4
man.
hours of that cross.
I got it. I got this nailed.
Just had that same
Human on a
answer
hamster
for
wheel.
others. And didn't want to talk about any of those individuals who trusted him. As he looked you in the eye and asked you to do the same.
It's like the world's
See?
most
Look you
overconfident
in the
LSAT
eye?
student.
Yeah, this whole thing's been racist. I
Down to
can't
the
tell you,
bottom.
but
It's not just the
Yeah,
clients, too.
are
it's
you
the
going to
staff.
tolerate that?
They're doing the paperwork. They're filling all that out. He had to fast talk them as well.
Joe, I need you to adopt Creighton Waters and then borrow $80 million so you have a reason to murder him.
Alex's situation, I think, is akin.
This is the most
To a Ponzi.
undynamic closing argument
Oh,
ever.
this is
Ponzi's kind of like a pyramid scheme where it depends on
Well,
new
it
money
is
coming in to
a pyramid
pay.
scheme.
old
Kind of.
And it
Kind of.
works. It'll work for a long time. as long
Ponzi
as
is
you
like a
keep that money
pyramid scheme. A
coming in. The
pansy
second
is like
you
a
can't-
Murdoch prosecutor.
The second that you're out of options, it crashes and burns. That's how every Ponzi crashes and burns. And that's the situation fundamentally his finances were like. And that's the situation that was arriving in June of 2021. When he
Check out that Rumble rant.
was at the scene
Touch the riot says, "Hi, I'm
with the
Clippy.
victims.
I see you're writing a suicide note. Would you like some help?"
minutes before they died.
Poor Clippy.
Gathering storm. The boat case.
And look at
That is a
this.
storm.
Is over
Go
Verizon.
back to that.
Each
Yeah,
one
it's a
is
storm.
leading to
A
that inevitable
gathering
day of threatening. At the followers conference where
That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
this is so good.
Mark Tinsley was confronted by Alec.
I love this
Denied
closing.
it. Everybody's lying on Alec. Alec's telling you the truth, even though
But
everyone
now
who
the
knew
storm
him had
slides
no
are
idea
green.
who he was. Everyone.
I guess it's an ocean storm.
No one knew who he really was. People who came in here and said we thought
That's
this about
kind of
him,
it
not
for
a
the
single
PowerPoint
person knew.
presentation. But
Dragon's
they
Treasure
were using
candy
shitty
canes
flip
flip
art things and like the gathering storm. They actually have visuals of a gathering storm. It's tiny micro print. Oh my god, this is just like, and then he's just delivering it in that mold guy monotone voice. Oh, it was just great. It was like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Oh, good God.
It's bad.
Okay.
But they're taking a lunch
It's,
break.
They're on lunch break? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just about ready here.
That's a handsome bastard right there. Right there.
That was well timed for the pause. We got Gosney looking like he's just won a case. We got you extremely happy. I mean, Branca's just jumping for joy.
That's happy Branca.
Yep. Okay.
Man, if I like reach over there and like kiss myself, is that like masturbation or is that gay?
I believe the term is self-cessed. There is a whole thing. There's a whole thing around it that came up in Kinky Corner because it's literally what would happen if you met yourself as a different gender in an alternate universe, or B,
Okay.
what would happen if you time traveled.
Well,
and
that
you
question was
interfered
part
with
of
yourself.
was a whole big part of the what was that book? The Time Traveler's Wife.
Mhm.
The guy went back and like kept having sex with himself. And that was one of the questions. He said, is this masturbation or does this make me gay? And I probably spent way too much time
Americana.
thinking about the philosophical implications of that question.
Good God. No, Ava, the only fan fiction that I read is Harry Potter, and I haven't done that in a damn few years.
Well, that's gay fan fiction.
Okay.
Just by virtue of being Harry Potter.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, good. Okay, so in the news today, we're going. I'm going to launch into a regular law news and laughter. So feel free to stick around if you'd like. But if you want to get some sleep, entirely up to you.
I'm gonna get some sleep, but I'll have the lilting dulcet tones of your voice on the pillow next to me while I go to sleep.
Oh, there you go. All right, so let's get this off of here.
And we got a trial to do tomorrow.
I know. I'm so excited.
Until there's another mistrial, but whatever. Everybody that's here, if you haven't subscribed, get down there and subscribe to him right freaking now.
That would be hugely appreciated, people. All right, and in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Whoops, wrong video. Hang on, where the hell is it? There it is. On this channel, we look at legal cases and concepts, world domination, news, and just generally shoot the breeze. We don't give any legal advice, but we can answer questions and hopefully point you in the right direction. We do not shy away from the topics. So if necessary, put on your big kid pants, have a cup of concrete, and pull up a chair. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or via email, and all complaints can be directed to our complaints department. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe buttons, and now let's get into it. He's still here.
Oh, I was watching the video. I was gonna. It was like really great. Now I'm leaving.
Fair enough. There, Jeff. Okay, starting off today, we have activist Greta Thunberg detained by Norway police during a pro-Sami protest against wind farms built on reindeer pastures. Now, there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. What is this? Missile the bunny, boobs in pool, grenades for paid actors. Pretty much. Have you never actually sat through one of my regular shows? Okay. So, environmental activist Greta Thunberg has been detained twice during a demonstration in favor of Indigenous rights in Norway. There are Indigenous people in Norway? I suppose there are. I can honestly say that is not something that I'm aware of. Oh, no, you haven't. Oh, well, there you go. On Monday, Ms. Thunberg joined protesters demanding the removal of 151 wind turbines from reindeer pastures used by Sami herders in central Norway. I'm sorry, hang on. I thought she was one of the people that was promoting wind farms, and now she's protesting against them herself. It is true. Eventually, the left will eat their own face. Like, what the absolute hell? I actually agree with her. Windmills are stupid, and reindeers are awesome. Well, there you go. This is true. You do generally derail the show pretty damn quickly. She's becoming more based. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. She said a transition to green energy should not come at the expense of Indigenous rights. The demonstrators have what have blocked access to some government buildings, which prompted the energy minister Turjay Arsland to call off an official visit to Britain. Norway's Supreme Court ruled in 2021 that the turbines erected on the two wind farms at Forsen and part of Europe's largest onshore wind power complex violated Sami rights under international conventions. They remain in operation more than 16 months later. Yeah, I'm not going to play the shooting video, but thank you, Stingy. Can't reason with activists, they're deranged. Sami from Wikipedia. The Sami people are traditionally Sami, I don't know how to pronounce that. Speaking people inhabiting the region of Sapmi, okay, which today encompasses large northern parts of Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Oh, there you go. She needed a bit more attention. Her star's been burning out recently with the other nonsense going on. Fair. No, Alex, we all sat around for about 5 minutes, which reminds me I'm going to change the title of this video so people don't get pissed off at me. And basically the court came back. Apparently the parties reached an agreement so that there wouldn't be a mistrial. So there's going to be trial tomorrow, but it does mean that I need to edit the content. Hang on, where are we? Just so I can change the video ever so slightly. Edit. Mistrial. Oh, I hate that it keeps dropping out. Trial. Second court. How am I going to do this? Mistrial. Second court. Tomorrow. Full news and laughter instead. There we go. That'll do. Alrighty. There's a lot of steel and concrete in the base of those wind turbines. This is true. She should burn out and let another star get more attention that way. Maybe. Gonna start an OnlyFans any day now. God, I hope not. Interesting. They look whitey Asian-y. Fascinating. Okay. Natalie sticking around. Hello. Windmills aren't viable as a primary power source, but that's not why she's protesting. She's stupid. Lovely blenders. Obama. It will still be boring. She'll be picking up garbage and stuff. 40 reported dead in a Greek train accident so far. Ooh, that's not great. Didn't see that pop up in the news either, so thank you for letting me know about that. Defendant's family members may be watching this stream, so I'm holding back in case anyone missed that Vice has said. Yes, I am walking obvious, but I wanted to spell it out. No, look, that's true, guys. There are what seems to be at least two. Oh, good, Natalie. There are at least 2 members of the family potentially in chat. So let's just be respectful, okay? That's our OnlyFans, just garbage collection. Ah, gotcha. Okay, they remain in operation for more than 16 months. Holding a blue, yellow, and green flag, Miss Thunberg was lifted and carried away by the finance ministry. From the finance ministry by police officers while hundreds of demonstrators chanted. We want to make it very clear that this is the Norwegian state that is committing the real crime here for violating human rights, she said. Wow, she will legitimately just take a crack at any authoritarian. Has she been checked for the oppositional defiance disorder? Ms. Thunberg and other demonstrators later blocked the entrance to the Climate and Environment Ministry. Wait, so she gets carried away from the Finance Ministry, so they turn their sights on the Environment Ministry. Hmm. She was released along with the activists who had been detained. What? She was released along with the other activists. Reindeer herders say that the sight and sound of the giant wind power machinery frighten their animals and disrupt age-old traditions. The Energy Ministry has said that the turbines present a legal quandary despite the Supreme Court ruling and is hoping to find a compromise, but that it could take another year to make a decision on the Fosen case. Activists on Tuesday said that they had raised close to $148,000 in recent days to help individual demonstrators pay police fines. Holy shit, the activists are unionizing. This is your brain on autism and microplastics. Well, um, I did say that. Thank you, Impish. I'm a victim. I don't know why I thought it was a defendant. Okay. Yeah, no, it's the defendant. There's family members of the defendant. Anyway. Alright, that one is behind a paywall. Okay. US is considering a nationwide TikTok ban over Chinese spying concerns. Could Australia follow suit? I should bloody well hope so. I could really use a reason to get that off my spare phone. National security concerns about TikTok are ramping up around the world. The US and Canada are the latest to ban the social media app on government-issued devices, citing espionage fears. People, if the US government is specifically saying don't have this on their phone if you're working for the government, you probably shouldn't have it on yours either. Imagine what sort of information they're able to collect on you that the Chinese already have all their info. True. 148,000 to pay police fines as a Scandinavia. The fine is having to apologise and then being given room and board. So what the hell is that about? Okay. So how serious is the threat, and should TikTok users who don't work for the government be worried too? The White House said on Monday that it is giving US federal agencies 30 days to delete TikTok from all government-issued mobile devices because of the concerns that TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, would give user data such as browsing history and location to the Chinese government or push propaganda and misinformation on its behalf. There has been evidence of that seen previously, that certain things are pushed to Western audiences compared to what is going on in the Chinese version of the app. There have been a few things that are, obviously a little propagandist, let's face it. The FBI and the Federal Communications Commission have warned that ByteDance could share TikTok user data with China's authoritarian government. Hang on, let me rephrase that. I just realized what I was doing wrong. I was completely and unintentionally misrepresenting one of the major world nations there. The FBI and the Federal Communications Commission have warned that ByteDance could share TikTok user data with West Taiwan's authoritarian government. A law West Taiwan implemented in 2017 requires companies to give the government any personal data relevant to the country's national security. In July 2022, TikTok admitted its staff in West Taiwan were able to access Australian data in a response to a letter from Shadow Cyber Security Minister James Patterson. As security teams minimise the number of people who have access to the data and limit it to people who need to access that in order to do their jobs, wrote the company's Australian Director of Public Policy, Brent Thomas. I call bullshit. The US nationwide TikTok ban bill is expected to proceed. On Tuesday, the House of Foreign Affairs Committee was expected to move forward with a bill that would give President Joe Biden the authority to ban TikTok from all US devices. It's an estimated 130 million users. A ban would require passage by the full House and the Senate before the president can sign it into law. Yeah, they spelt will share wrong. Yeah. The legislation was proposed by Congressman Mike McCall and looks to evade challenges the administration would face if in court if it moved forward with the sanctions against the company. My bill empowers the administration to ban TikTok or any software applications that threaten US national security. Okay, I do have some issues with that. Because if they can ban any app or software that is deemed to be a threat to US national security, who determines whether or not it's a threat? Could they all of a sudden ban something like WhatsApp or Snapchat? Because all of a sudden people are able to use that to communicate without being traced. I mean, not that those can't be traced, but you know what I mean. Anyone with TikTok downloaded on their device has given the West Taiwanese Communist Party a backdoor to all their personal information. It's a spy balloon into their phone. When asked early in February if Washington would ban TikTok completely, Mr. Biden responded, "I'm not sure. I don't know. What I know, I don't have it on my phone." Dude, you wouldn't know what is on your phone. And the bill has received pushback from some organizations, including the American Civil Liberties Union. In a letter sent Monday to Mr. McCall, it said a nationwide TikTok ban would be unconstitutional and would likely result in banning many other businesses and applications as well. That's really the issue that I have here. Don't have TikTok as fuck the West Taiwanese? Yep. Unconstitutional. I do believe we are not at war with West Taiwan yet. Cannot ban for Gen Pop though. Okay. Yeah, they'll try and ban encrypted messaging apps and say they're used by terrorists. TikTok said that the concerns were fueled by misinformation and has denied using the app to spy on Americans. That's a load of shit. We already know this. Any service or application or goods provided, if they're done for free, you are the product. They're collecting information and using it for some sort of purpose. And we all know that we don't pay for TikTok. That's not true, Aussie. Biden knows what's on his phone. It's a panic button for his nurse and an app that tells him when to take his medicines. You honestly think he has the ability to actually do that, though? To use a smartphone like that? I'm kind of assuming that he'd have an old Nokia 3315 or 3310. Or one of the really big ones with the really big buttons on it. We're gonna have to start using snail mail now. Really? Given that that can be intercepted? Doesn't know the last time he wiped his ass, let alone what a phone is. um, in December, TikTok commented on Congress's earlier moves to bar federal employees from using the apps. I almost said employees then. Saying it was disappointed. It called the move a political gesture that will do nothing to advance national security interests, rather than encouraging the administration to conclude its national security review. The company has questioned the bans, saying that it has not been given an opportunity to answer questions, and the governments were cutting themselves off from a platform beloved by millions. That governments? What other governments are banning it? If more than one government has concerns over this, then that is actually saying something. Don't trust the mail either. Just had a check finally arrive after 4 weeks and a rando trip to Montana, Missouri. Yeah, look, the Biden has a jitterbug cell phone. I don't really trust the mail here either. I sent something to someone. Admittedly, it was last year, so I don't know how bad it is now. I sent it express post, which is supposed to be guaranteed next day. It took 2 weeks to get to the other side of the city. So, and the whole thing about cutting them off from being beloved by millions is beloved by thoughts and fucking attention seekers. Let's be honest, and people that really need a way to waste their time. Which, to be fair, sometimes it's very. The government is not currently considering a ban on TikTok, said Minister for Home Affairs and Minister for Cybersecurity Claire O'Neill on 7:30 last week. TikTok is one of the most widely used apps in Australia, much beloved by Australia's young people in particular. It's not currently on the table. Fucking morons. You're happy to try and ban cigarettes and smoking and all that sort of stuff with the younger generation, but you won't save them from themselves when it comes to, I don't know, potentially violating our cybersecurity. Yeah, that works well. What? Just got back. My office got served lawsuit papers in person. They sent it to the wrong office. They sent it to us. Supposed to go to a main office in Texas. Lol, the guy was so pissed. although some experts think we're not far off, like Patrick Wickstrom, director of the Queensland University's of Technology's Digital Media Research Centre. Australia often follows these kinds of decisions that are made in the US, he said. Well, sometimes we think for ourselves. Would not be surprised if the same thing happened here in Australia. Professor Wickstrom acknowledged TikTok has been used as the forefront of multiple scandals and has also believed the ban stems from suspicions. I'm suspicious about your suspicions. In your province, the government's also considering a ban. Canadian government is banning TikTok off their corporate devices as well. Oh, there you go. See, this is, to me, this is really the whole, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If they're banning it off of government phones, it's for a reason. So why would you be allowing the rest of the cattle to continue? Because you have a reason for that as well. And I feel like capitulating to the West Taiwanese government in that fashion is pathetic and disgusting, frankly. You'd rather that miners smoke cigarettes and use TikTok. Did anyone see that that there was it on Twitter or a news article? Someone stuck a vape in an 11-month-old's mouth, and then they pull it out and it breathes out the smoke. And I was just like, oh my god. Some people really do make it feel like you need a license to have kids. Did I see about Eli Lilly? No. What's that about? There's plenty of suspicion in the technology war between the US and China where people don't trust the West Taiwanese Communist Party, he said, but there hasn't been any evidence that TikTok is any worse than other major platforms like Instagram or Snapchat. There have been instances where employees have been involved in scandals, but they were ultimately dealt with or fired. One of the scandals was from December 22 when ByteDance said it fired 4 employees who accessed data on 2 journalists from BuzzFeed News and the Financial Times while attempting to track down the source of a leaked report about the company. That I call bullshit. There is no way in hell that they weren't directed to do that. Are you kidding me? Access data on 2 journalists in relation to a leaked report about the company. Yeah, no. TikTok's not the only Chinese-owned app that Australians are using. Professor Wickstrom said that there were a dozen of other West Taiwanese-owned platforms used by millions of Australians daily. WeChat and Weibo were the 2 major ones. You show me a regular Aussie that has WeChat or Weibo on their phone, and I will slap them across the face. Okay? So does that mean you can't trust them either? No, you fucking well should not be trusting Weibo or WeChat. Are you kidding me? It's like saying anything that's owned by West Taiwanese company cannot be on government phones. Where does it end? No, there legitimately should not be any Chinese company owned products on government technology. I've been out of Northern Ontario for a while, but it's one of my favorite regions. Fair enough. Hayden has a PO box in Sarasota, Florida. Ew, I don't want my mail passing through there. Oh, what the fuck do you want from me? I'm not Obama. I had to pick a random state, okay? I had to pick from what PO boxes were available, and the one in Sarasota, Florida was the cheapest. Don't know what those apps are, but that was funny. Weibo and WeChat are the 2 largest apps that are used in China. So think about this. These 2 apps are actually Communist Party approved. Let that sink in. And then try and understand why it would even be remotely appropriate for that to not be on your phone outside of China. This is true. Having a guitar made in China is not going to spy on you. Unless it has a like electronic component where they have computer chips. Maybe they're recording. No foreign country app should be on a government phone or computer. No, absolutely not. Nor should they have any sort of Yeah, but that's the point. TikTok should be banned as well. WeChat is a super app from the tech giant Tencent that has more than 1.2 billion global users, and about 1 million of which live in Australia. Fuck. Which other countries have recently implemented TikTok bans? The European Parliament. On Tuesday, the European Parliament banned TikTok from star phones, following in the footsteps of the European Commission and the EU Council, which enforced bans last week. The ban starts from March 20 and applies to corporate devices such as mobile phones and tablets enrolled in Parliament's mobile management application, a Parliament spokesperson said. On Monday, Canada announced a ban on TikTok from government-issued devices, saying it presents an unacceptable level of risk to privacy and security, adding to the growing risk between the two countries. The ban will take effect from Tuesday, according to a statement from Canada's Treasury Board, which oversees the public administration. TikTok said the ban was issued without citing any specific security concern or contacting us with questions, according to a spokesperson. What's that? Editor. The original publication of the story said employees from the Department of Home Affairs were restricted from using TikTok on their work phones. This has been omitted to reflect that the government is not currently considering a ban on TikTok. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Employees, so are the employees from the Department of Home Affairs restricted from using it? Just because it would conflict doesn't mean it's not necessarily true. What the hell? All West Taiwanese companies are subservient to the CCP. Yep. Yeah, but just because the floodgates have opened doesn't mean you stop trying to contain it or stop preventing the damage. Million users in Australia get you pimped. Guys, someone's trying to call the computer that Law and Crime are using. I was trying to work out what the hell that was. I still had that open. Oh my god, that was hilarious. um. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a dive back into that. The student attacking the teacher. So just Lauren Boomer. Yeah. Lauren Crime got a booty call. Only social media app on my phone is Discord, and that is so bad. Well, there you go. All right. Like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive back into that student attacking the teacher over the switch. So, trigger warning, people. If this is a touchy subject for you, then I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Start off with Fox 35 in Orlando. Matanzas high school teacher aide allegedly attacked by student says, "I never took the Nintendo Switch from him." The Flagler County teacher's aide, who was brutally attacked at the high school, is now speaking about the incident. According to her GoFundMe page, of course, she had to put together a GoFundMe page. That's horrible. The fact that she has to put together a GoFundMe page for the injury she sustained. Joanne Nadich says that she never took the Switch from any student accused in the attack, adding that this is information. For all you keyboard warriors, I just want to set the record straight. Okay, why would the keyboard warriors be siding with him anyway? Because she took a video game from a student in the middle of class? He beat the shit out of her? No, supposedly she didn't even take the Switch. Allegedly attacked. Well, to be fair, we can't positively ID him from the video. Yes, Ava, he is. Oh, I just realized you've never actually... Hang on. Okay, let me see if I can find the footage.
The Flagler County teacher's aide who was brutally attacked at Matanzas High School is now speaking out. On her GoFundMe page, the aide, her name is Joan Nadich, says that she never took the student's Nintendo Switch away from him, adding that that is misinformation. Investigators say the 17-year-old told them that he lost his temper after the aide took away his Nintendo Switch. Joan went on to say that she is overwhelmed with the kindness from strangers as she continues to recover. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office says the 17-year-old will be charged as an adult.
As fucking well he should do. Okay, so that's the footage of him getting arrested. Let me see if I can pull up the footage of the attack, because that's the vicious bit, frankly. Yep, there it is.
Randy, thanks. Well, starting today, Disney Cat.
Oh, hang on, what's happened here? Got. No, I don't care if I do not care if Disney are only returning to work part-time. Okay, so trigger warning, obviously, people. DailyMail.com putting their friggin' thing over the top of that. That's not okay. Now, I need to pause simply because the last time I showed someone being beaten up on camera, I got done for gratuitously showing violence. But yeah, that's the hit that she took that put her on the ground. Hang on, why you no play? Why you no play? Oh, right, because people have been sending me things on Discord, and it doesn't like that I have notifications. So, hang on. Just clear those notifications. Okay. That's it. He comes right at her then. Puts her down. At this point, she's already unconscious. Like, you can see how she hit the floor. And he just starts stomping, kicking, hitting, lays right into her. Yeah, she literally flew. Yeah. You can't show that, but slap fights, boxing, sumo wrestling is allowed. Not only that, the other things that are allowed on YouTube that I find reprehensible that are not at least behind, I don't know, an age restriction. Full on all out there bikini waxes or naked yoga or like I'm fairly confident at one point I even saw like a prostate exam. Like I didn't actually see it. I saw the thumbnail pop up. I'm like, fuck no, I'm out. YouTube the content like the warnings and the categories and all that sort of stuff, it is fucked. MMA on YouTube is absolutely brutal. Knockout reels, yeah. All right, and so he keeps going, keeps punching and punching and hitting, and there's the hits to the back of the head. Someone finally runs over, and this guy here, the Marine, sort of casually walks over, pulls him off of her. They push him off. He goes back for another kick. They hold him down. Check out the blonde, just casually arms on him. Just everything's okay. You just need to calm down, take a break. Everything will be okay. And he goes back for another few hits until they finally drag him off of her. And that's another teacher getting attacked, but that's not the one that I... Okay, so back to this. Just want to set the record straight. I never took the Nintendo Switch from him. For anyone that's read or heard differently, I've been told this was unfortunately misinformation, the post read. Nadish added, she's truly grateful for the support she has received. I'm hopeful that the awareness of this incident is being spread far and wide will prevent anyone else from ever dealing with the trauma and physical healing and disruption to their everyday life that this has caused. Investigators say that the 17-year-old accused student told them he lost his temper after the aide took away his Switch. Surveillance video released by the Flagler County Sheriff's Office appears to show the teacher's aide walking down the hallway, briefly looking back when she is pummeled by the alleged student. I've just lost my place. Pummeled, who is described as approximately 6'6" and 270 pounds. The video appears to show the student pushing the aide several feet and knocking her to the ground when she then becomes unconscious. The boy is then seen kicking and punching the unconscious woman at least 15 times in the back and head. The teen is being held in jail on a $1 million bond, records show. The Flagler County's Sheriff's Office says he will be charged as an adult. Arraignment is scheduled for 6th of March. Pummeled feels like an apt word. I don't know, I feel like they could have been a little bit more descriptive. She looked passed out as he was punching. Oh, she was out of it. She was gone. Which, as bad as it sounds, is probably a blessing, frankly, because of the way that she was getting hit. I watched cats giving birth on YouTube when my cat was pregnant. Um, your parents would have whipped his ass. Yeah, it's ridiculous, honestly. He lost his temper, so no one has ever told him no when he was younger. Kid deserves to be put as jelly roll in prison. Marine should have knocked his ass out and kicked him in the face. And it's the same thing that Vice has said earlier as well. That Marine was way too calm and took way too long to get over there. In my personal opinion, I feel like he could have broke stride and moved a little bit more quickly. But Aussie, they put for educational purposes in the title of those naked yoga videos. You're not suggesting its purposes other than education, are you? No, why on earth would I ever do that? It's not like it could ever be for the purposes of traumatizing young children that go searching for naked ladies on YouTube. We are not going to talk about the demographic of too many of these blitz violent attacks. Meh. By the way, has anyone ever noticed YouTube loading way slower over the last week or so? I haven't noticed it being too bad, but that could just be because I use different service to you guys. So unless maybe there's a whole bunch more people watching the trial streams than usual, which could well be the case. It's a dark road. What I sent you? Oh God. Okay, hang on. I'm actually gonna have a look then. Where did you send me the shooting one? Was that on Twitter or was that on Disc? Oh yeah, the shooting one. Oh yeah, that's. I don't actually know how I feel about that. I feel like if I show that one, it will legitimately be something that gets me demonetized. Like I know it cuts away from the guy getting shot right at the end, but for anyone that doesn't know, there is a colored gentleman standing on the sidewalk. There is a homeless guy sitting in the gutter. Colored gentleman just casually reloads, cocks his handgun, and shoots the homeless guy in the head. So yeah, there's that. All of it was Twitter, and I'm talking the news story. Oh, about the teacher. Yeah, we're getting to that. Don't care if the Marine can't legally get involved. He has a moral obligation to help that woman. I'm more worried about becoming the next poster child for assaulting the black guy. It's disgusting. People are scared to act now. Yep. Less the streams themselves, more main page chat before it shows. Takes 10 seconds on my PC. Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's the Daily Mail thing. Just double check if there's anything more interesting. Nope, that looks like that is covered by that. Okay, so let's have a quick look at this one. Woke LA DA George Gascon suspends lead prosecutor in the Hannah Tubbs case. Los Angeles County's woke district attorney George Gascon has reportedly suspended the lead attorney who prosecuted a trans woman convicted of molesting a 10-year-old girl. Oh, fuck, I'm going to have to take a deep breath on this one, I think. Deputy District Attorney Shea Senna, 34, was slapped with a suspension after he argued that jailhouse phone calls showed that the convicted twisted fucker Hannah Tubbs, 26, was trying to use gender identity to manipulate the justice system, making people in Gascon's office uncomfortable, sources told Fox News. Tubbs made national headlines last year when she was sentenced to 2 years in a youth treatment facility after pleading. What? She's 26. Why would she be going to a youth treatment facility? After pleading guilty to the sickening crime because Gascon failed to file a motion to move the case into adult court. Ooh. Tubbs was 17 when she SA'd a child in a Denny's bathroom in Palmdale in 2014. She allegedly began identifying as female after getting arrested. Santa was a prosecutor who was initially assigned to the case and fiercely argued that Tubbs should have been tried as an adult, condemning Gascon for being soft on crime. Judge Mario Barrera said several times at the January 22 hearing that he was limited to sentencing Tubbs to 2 years because Gascon's office had not filed a request to send her to adult court. You piece of shit. She has no youth left and needs treatment to regain it. I don't think that was dropping the effing ball. I think that was deliberately throwing it into the neighbor's yard. You have a violent sexual predator sentenced to 2 years in a juvenile facility, Santa seethed at the hearing. The top DA was then later forced to admit that the sentence in the child twisted fuckery case was too lenient after Tubbs reportedly boasted about getting off easy and made ugly comments involving the young victim while in custody. Tubbs' victim, now an adult, also slammed Gascon last year and said that the light sentence was unfair. I've also heard that my attacker goes by she-them pronouns now, she told Fox News. I see it as unfair to try him as a woman as well, seeing as how he clearly didn't act like one on the 1st of January 2014. That's the fucker that assaulted a child and was in a youth detention facility. Are you fucking kidding me? He's got more facial hair than I do at this stage.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
An internal investigation into Santa was launched last August, according to the LA Times. The probe stemmed from allegations that the deputy district attorney misused county resources, released confidential information, and made inappropriate public statements. The prosecutor's attorney, Greg Smith, told the outlet at the time. It's not clear if the investigation involved the comments he made about the Tubbs case, but Smith expressed concern that his client was being punished for criticizing Gascon. No shit, you think that's what happened? My concern is that they may be using him as an example to frighten other DAs from coming forward, making public statements that are negative to Gascon, or that aren't pushing a certain narrative, by the sounds of it. Tubbs has since been charged with murder in connection with a 2019 robbery and was transferred to a men's jail in Kern County. He's being held on $1 million bond. In May 22, she pled not guilty to second-degree murder and robbery charges. The two cases are unrelated. Wow. Wow. Wait, what the fuck? What was that? Video shows the moment after two Florida fathers shot each other's daughters in a road rage gunfight. Fuck off. What is in the water in Florida? Police.
Do me a favor. Let's take care of your daughter. Just stay right here.
Absolutely. I'm all about taking care.
Jesus Christ on a cracker.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look at me. You're okay.
What did Steve do this time? All of LA needs to be flushed in the toilet.
These two are from Georgia. They're plucking clay.
I know, sweetie.
Oh, the poor thing. Okay, well, if there's no audio, we're just looking at this guy trying to. Why cut the audio out of that? He's explaining what the hell's going on. Oh, and by the way, why blur her when you're giving the license plate of the vehicle? Oh my god. Fucking hell.
I would never, ever put her in this position.
Bravo 1301, be advised, Fire Rescue, they're going to have a trauma alert to.
You have to run in the ambulance.
Be advised, we have 2 patients.
That's just messed up. She's doing great. Honestly, I'd be much more hysterical. Yeah, look, it's not every day that you're a teenage girl that gets shot, so. Something that is in the water everywhere else. Just Florida has a law that requires all police interactions to be released to the public. Oh, okay. Oh, no shit, she got ousted.
Diana, this was an annihilation.
Schroeder, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot blames election loss on racism and gender. Democratic Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot blamed racism and her gender for her landslide defeat in her re-election bid. As Chicagoans, weary of the rising crime on her watch, celebrated her fall from political rock bottom to political rock star to rock bottom. I'm a black woman in America, of course, she replied when asked by a reporter if she'd been treated unfairly. But she called being Chicago's mayor the honor of a lifetime. Regardless of tonight's outcome, we fought the right fights and we put the city on a better path. Really? No racism, no gender. She urged her fellow mayors around the US to not fear being bold. Amid heavy criticism from the crime wave, homelessness, and other troubles plaguing the city, the mayors also injected race into the run-up to the election. I'm a black woman, let's not forget, said Lightfoot 60 to the New Yorker in a piece that ran on Saturday. Certain folks, frankly, don't support us in leadership roles. Oh, fuck you. If you were right for the job, it shouldn't fucking matter. And look, yes, obviously there's going to be people that are racist against you. That should in no way be something that holds you back, though. Lightfoot is out. The small part of justice exists. Yes, and see, people, this is why we watch my channel. Because you find out things about the US that you don't otherwise know. When all else fails, play the victim. Mm-hmm. Probably shouldn't throw homophobia in there. Sad day for equality. A black woman, multiple disabled person is kicked out of her job and you guys are celebrating. The Chicago Tribune called her loss a political embarrassment and argued that crime skyrocketed on her. Wait, what? Called her loss a political embarrassment and then argued that the crime skyrocketed on her watch. I think that might be a typo. Lightfoot campaigned for mayor in 2019 by arguing crime was too high, saying she wanted to make Chicago the safest big city in the country. Well, she fucked that up, didn't she? The Tribune said that in its analysis of how she went from political rock star to rock bottom. But homicides, mostly gun violence, spiked dramatically in 2020, 2021 from 500 murders to 776 and 804 murders in the next 2 years, respectively. Shootings and carjackings also skyrocketed. Violent crime in the city spiked by 40%. Since she promised during her inaugural address to end the epidemic of gun violence that devastates families, shatters communities, holds children hostage to fear in their own homes, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Oh, shit. The paper attributed some of those woes to bad timing due to the pandemic and civil unrest following the murder of George Floyd in May 2020. She also embraced playing the heavy, shutting down the lakefront and admonishing people to stay home. It played into her dictatorial personality, inspiring an avalanche of hysterical memes the mayor was smart enough to embrace. Chicago City Alderman Anthony Beale said for Lightfoot that it was my way or the highway coming out of the gate. Well, look, to be fair, that's probably the way that it needs to be able to handle that, but she's obviously gone about it the entirely the wrong way. Think I keep saying Littlefoot. Think Lightfoot tried to do what she could, but Chicago has many complex problems, and she's trying to do it with simplistic answers. Probably. So in that case, she clearly was not fit for the job. Trying to destroy people inside of trying to work with people. Sorry, instead of trying to work with people, politics is a game of addition. Oh, excuse me. It's not a game of subtraction. All she did was subtract from day one, said Beale. Coming out of the gate at inauguration, she tried to embarrass the entire city council as being this corrupt body, and she was there to save the day. Turns out she was the least transparent, least productive, least cooperative administration I've seen in my life. Diana DiGiacomo, who was robbed at gunpoint in December in the upscale neighborhood of Lincoln Park, said good riddance. I believe that people have just had enough, she said on Fox and Friends First. My message has been go out and change. Regime change is the only way we're going to fix this, and I think this is a loud and clear message that the woke agenda is not working for Chicago. She said that the crime surge was a prime concern for her in casting her vote. We have two very different approaches now of the two guns that are having the runoff. One is very much police protection and support the police. The other one is much more of a defund the police and self-rule. So we'll see how it turns out, but I'm glad that the city spoke out and said no more Lori Lightfoot. Meanwhile, business owner Sam Sanchez said the crime wave was hurting the city's economy and suggested that Lightfoot's loss will spur additional investment. We're looking for businesses to come back, Sanchez said on the show. We're headed in the right direction. The idea of coming to the city and being afraid should not be a reason that you don't come in. I don't necessarily know that I'll... So I'm still looking at coming over in August. I'm not sure that I'll be visiting Chicago. We definitely have to address prosecution and accountability for the crime. Gianna Caldwell, a Fox News political analyst whose brother was killed in Chicago last summer, applauded her defeat. The Lori Lightfoot experiment is officially over. Thank you, Chicago, he wrote on Twitter. Attorney and Fox News commentator Jonathan Turley also chimed in, writing, there is hope for my city yet. Lori Lightfoot is out, the greatest potential improvement for the city since 1900, when the direction of Chicago River was reversed. Lori Lightfoot, the first black woman and openly gay person to lead Chicago. No shit. So okay. In that case, I am surprised she didn't throw homophobia in there. Became the first city's elected mayor to lose a re-election bid since 1983, when Jane Byrne, the city's first female mayor, lost her Democratic primary. The same forces that didn't want Harold Washington succeed, you're still here, she told the New Yorker, referring to the Democrat who was elected that year. My brain is not working. The last time we had an African-American mayor in power was 40 years ago. It's important for us not to repeat history, she added. On Tuesday, Lightfoot received only 16.4% of the vote, finishing behind former head of Chicago Public Schools Paul Vallis and Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson. Well, there you go. No, I didn't know that. She's already given an interview blaming a loss on racism and misogyny. I'm shocked. Completely shocked. All right. A teen bitten by a crocodile while being evacuated from floodwaters in remote Northern Territory. A teenage boy has been bitten by a crocodile in the floodwaters of the remote Northern Territory. Emergency services were in the process of evacuating about 700 people from the remote communities in the Victoria Daly region to Darwin via Catherine due to major flooding. Ooh. Probably should have given a trigger warning for that. Oh, hang on. It's not on the page anyway. Trigger warning. The photo is gnarly. Residents of the community of Deguru, were evacuated to the nearby community of Kalkarinji this morning, according to Victoria Daily Regional Council. This afternoon, resident Rob Roy told the ABC's NT Country Hour that one resident had been bitten on the back of the leg in the evacuation process. he got off very lightly. I'm guessing this was a freshwater crocodile. Good thing it wasn't a really big one, it was a small one, but they're now treating the bite at the clinic, he said. A photo of the teenager sent to the ABC shows the large bite marks on the foot from the attack. St. John Ambulance has confirmed that the 17-year-old boy is being treated for a crocodile bite at the clinic. Member for Gualja Peach Patch told ABC Radio this evening several of his constituents had notified him of the incident and that he understood the boy was in a stable condition. He said the incident was a reminder to be cautious of crocodiles after heavy rains. There's a lot of water holes which we normally swim in around these communities, but just really reminding people with this, we don't know where those big crocs have gotten to. That's a scary thought. No, they stick to the northern. It's either the Tropic of Cancer or the Tropic of Capricorn. More or less, you won't really find them south of that. Like anywhere in Queensland, you're still going to be careful. Northern Western Australia, absolutely be careful. Darwin, don't go in the water. Northern Territory, just don't go in the water. Just start an Aussie React, sending you stuff to watch. Hey, if you want to do that, I'm more than happy to. We can make that like a weekly thing or something. Just do a stream where it's just Aussie watching things and you can all see my face just go. Just being water safe and croc-wise is going to be really important in the coming months after this event. What do we got left? Done that. Talk about Lightfoot, so I can get rid of that and that. Oh, no, I can't talk about that because it's behind a paywall and I don't care enough to pay for it. Okay. Entitled influencer makes a demand in a public park. This ought to be good. A hilarious video it has shown the moment of an influencer's live stream as it was interrupted by an old man who refused to move out of the background of a shot, sparking a viral argument between the pair. The fitness influencer, who was not identified in the clip, was seen live streaming to her followers in a public park in the UK after her morning run. Oh, I saw this. I've just run 5K today. I've been eating healthy and staying hydrated, and it's a bit hard when it's cold in the morning, she tells the camera, before an older man walks into frame and sits on a bench.
Hi guys, so I've just been for my morning.
I'm going to mute that because that's going to be... Okay. Yep, and he just sits down. Oh. All right. Oh, there's no audio. There's no...
I'm just filming. So you're just in the shot, that's all.
You're in the shot, and...
Right, this is a bench that I sit on every day. So, you know, there's plenty of room in this park, in the look. So,
Okay.
all you've got to do is just ask us to move the camera around then.
I can't move it because it's on the tripod.
Right, I'm just waiting for the phone call. No, it's not all right.
But like, you're on my
What a pretentious old fuck! Okay, alright. On the one hand, influencers give me the shits when they do this, okay? On the other hand,
You're going to be online now.
I don't care, so.
well, at least that's on camera. What a pretentious entitled old fuck. The influencer breaks from her fitness spell and asks the man to move to another bench. To be fair, she was there first. He refuses, sparking the minutes-long bickering match between the pair. This is a bench that I sit on every day. There's plenty of room in the park, isn't there, love? He points out. He knew exactly what he was doing. How entitled do you have to be to set up your camera at the public park and expect someone to give a shit about what you're doing instead of just moving the fucking camera behind the bench? Look, I don't think that there are any real winners here. It's a public space, but at the same time, I think he was doing it just to be a pain in the ass and a prick, honestly. I think he's done that deliberately. Which to be fair is funny. Yeah, he was trolling her. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me either. Tripods are mobile. It's like, just fucking move it. Alright, I don't really need to read through all that because they're just taking quotes out of the video. Alright. A porn bot stole my identity on Instagram. It took an agonizing month to get it deleted. Here's your mini kinky corner, folks. Like many people in Sydney, I spent August 2021 in Delta lockdown, stuck at home, endlessly scrolling on my phone and clinging to the internet as a lifeline. While you can meet all sorts of people online, I did not expect to meet myself, or rather the porn bot version of me. I hadn't been hacked, I hadn't clicked on a phishing link, but I'd still fallen victim to the malicious scam making its rounds on Instagram. Porn bots create fake accounts that are designed to mimic real people. They steal photos from public social media accounts and follow the real profile's friends. They tack on suggestive captions and post links to external paid adult sites. The fake accounts choose the usernames that are deceptively similar to those that they impersonate, And for good measure, the fake accounts block the person they're copying, making it difficult for the victim to see or interact with them. For weeks, I'd seen friends, former co workers, people I'd meet in the Australian cosplay community. He's a cosplayer, interesting. Post screenshots of these accounts to their Instagram stories, imploring their followers to block them and report them. I'd always done my part to help out. Then the fake account emerged. It barely made sense for starters, my photos were pretty tame, and the photos scraped by the porn bot were even more so. In one, I'm laughing and lounging in a new outfit. In another, I'm posing with my best friend at the Artist Alley table at a convention. The porn bot wasn't even doing a good job. Had it scrolled further down my Instagram grid, it would have found at least the picture of me laughing at the beach in a swimsuit. For days, messages would pour in. Hey, just got followed by an account that was using your username with an underscore at the end. I guess it's impersonating you trying to sell nudes, just a heads up. Just wanted to let you know there's a profile that's popped up like the one I did for such and such the other day. Hey lady, just got a follow request from this page. Noticed you made a post about a fake account. Also have a friend that's going through a similar deal. But a couple of my friends were actually fooled. Morons. Get better friends. When I was grilled by one about it, they said it seemed weird at first, but with the advent of sites like OnlyFans, it was fairly normal to see people making paid content. What does that friend say about what does that say about what your friend thinks about you? They applauded me for getting that coin. While I definitely respect and appreciate the hard yards that sex workers put into their craft, I just wasn't one myself. It was infuriating that my name and likeness were taken without my consent and used to scam people. While my peers were supportive and most were clued in on what was going on, I had a bigger problem to worry about. My parents. They are older and not very tech savvy and also religious and conservative. I've always been very careful about what I post on Instagram. My mother follows me, and I've got no time to be swerving furious WhatsApp messages. Back in my home country of Malaysia, even having premarital sex while Muslim could land you in jail. Owning or publishing pornography of any kind can get you fined 10,000 ringgits or $3,350 Australian, and imprisoned for up to 3 years. And here was an account with my face touting exclusive full nudity 30 days free access. This was bad news. I was stressed and I needed to get that account taken down. Not shaming, but naturally, I reported the fake account to Instagram several times. I recall having to send a photograph of myself, ID in hand, to prove I was who I said I was. My partner Alex, who works in tech, contacted Wix, which hosted the website that linked to my non-existent nudes. The Wix site was promptly removed, thankfully. At least now the porn bot was leading people to nowhere. But it was still up on Instagram, still trying to sell me. I'd check back day after day, anxiety raising, and it would still be there. I lodged a report with the E-Safety Commission, imagining that they'd be able to do something, anything. I received a disappointing reply from an agent saying that they mainly deal with cyberbullying material targeted at children, and they had no legislative power to investigate adult cyber abuse complaints formally. What the fuck? Did you get a chance to report it to Instagram? It would be a long, agonizing month before the account was finally deleted. It seems absurd that someone can be punished for simply being a woman online. Sure, bring sexism into it. Because there's no chance this has ever happened to a bloke on Instagram either. Oh, wait, no, because most blokes aren't attention whores on Instagram like that. So wouldn't smash, but look at those bobs. Could use someone that others might actually want to look at if they're wanting to make money off her. That's a good point. Not enough liquor in the cabinet to make that look like a good enough time. Hang on. It seems absurd that someone can be punished. Yeah. From the time being, my Instagram account is set to private. I'm happy in knowing that my silly little selfies are being seen by actual people, not robots. It would be great if Meta could flag and delete suspicious accounts swiftly without charging $25 a month. Huh. So she's asking for more censorship from the companies. Interesting. Would make the platform safer for everyone. Maybe if it happens, I'll set my profile back to public. Heck, I might even be compelled to post to the grid more than once a year. Nuri Salim will appear on SBS's. Oh, yeah, there's a nice little plug. Insight episode on identity crime airing on Tuesday, 28th of February. So that was days ago. Oh, what's this article? Yeah, yesterday. Okay. Okay. Mum of three let go from her corporate job at 8 months pregnant now makes $2.3 million a year after starting a jewelry business from her kitchen table. An Australian mum has gone from being fired at 8 months pregnant, not knowing what her future holds, to run a successful jewelry. Holy shit! How long is this article? Fuck that. Oh, okay. It's just all the ads. Damn, that was scary. You're pretending you wouldn't stick your dick in anything. Yeah, no, that was a hard pass. Nikki Kelly from Brisbane sold more than 45,000 handmade jewelry pieces through her business, Collective by Nikki, in 6 years. The mum of three told Kidsport that she'd started the accessory brand after she was made redundant from her corporate job when she was 35 weeks pregnant with her first child. That's some bullshit. Nikki had to abandon her plans for a blissful maternity leave and come up with a plan for how her and her husband Scott were going to deal with living on one income with a newborn. From the stress, Collective by Nikki was born, and the mum started hand making simple, delicate jewelry from home, which has since turned into a multi-million dollar company. How much you want to bet this is just a puff piece for the jewelry? Hang on, let me just have a quick look. I was more interested in whether or not this was. Yeah, no, purely a puff piece. Never mind. See, this is what happens, guys. I do apologize. This is not my best work. I threw this all together in about 5-10 minutes, so. Alright. Rio Tract. Okay. Rio Tact. Okay. You must pay your debt to society. Prison for man who terrorized women sleeping in their homes. Content warning. James Dudley Marsh only nodded as he understood that he was being sent to prison for a minimum of 6 years for subjecting 2 university students to what justice described as a woman's worst nightmare. I'm sorry, what? He got 6 years for a woman's worst nightmare? What was he charged with? The court had previously heard how the now 36-year-old had broken into his victim's Ainsley home on 4 March 2022, crawling into one of their beds and asking why she didn't answer the phone. He then covered her mouth with his hand and lay on top of her. Then the second woman came in, to which March said it's okay, there's nothing wrong. He eventually forced both women into the bedroom before saying, I'm going to have to do this, pulling their hair and pushing them on the bed. The women later discovered he had pulled out chunks of their hair. Hang on, I have a visitor. Okay, guys. Sorry, it turns out I've made a grave miscalculation. I'm going to finish this one and then I'm going to close out for the day. One detailed in her victim impact statement that she believed that she had been raped, beaten. She would have been raped, beaten, or murdered, or all three during the attack. Marsh told his victims that I was told to come to this house, but I have the wrong people, and eventually had them both shower and wash his fingerprints off. The students had only lived at the address for 2 weeks before the attack. During the sentencing in the ACT Supreme Court on Friday, 17 February, Justice Carissa Lucas Carlson questioned his reasons for being in the home and why he didn't immediately leave when he realized he had the wrong address. She said that he claimed he was there to confront a man about supplying drugs to his daughter. She found this difficult to accept. Yeah, I can't say I'm shocked with that being difficult to accept. Only when he realized the victim's housemate was home did he stop. March had pled guilty to 2 counts of assault, forcible confinement, threatening a participant in a legal proceeding, as well as 1 count of burglary. In terms of the objective seriousness of the crimes, the justice found all of his offences were either approaching mid-range or towards the higher end. I should fucking all think so. She recognised his troubled background, including family violence, drug use, and mental illness, but also said that the victim's impact statement had to be taken into account. It is a woman's worst nightmare to have someone come into their home while she sleeps, she said. She noted that based on his significant criminal history, including a conviction for sexual intercourse without consent and burglary in 2014, he had a high risk of reoffending and very guarded prospect of rehabilitation. March had previously indicated he was not interested in rehab programs and could do it himself. It was very clear that a term apart from custody would not be appropriate, she said. Prison is inevitable regarding the nature of the offences. Alright, guys. I'm going to get out of here. But, yeah, we'll be back here for the trial starting tomorrow. So I'll see you all over on Jeff's channel starting at 9 a.m. Oh, actually, he'll be there. I'm probably going to sleep a little bit longer. So I'll see you all around the probably 11:30, 12 o'clock mark. But as always, guys, remember, you are not a piece of shit. You contribute to society, even if all you do is hit the like button. See you all later. Cheers, guys.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm